Hi y'all, it's Charlene from the Crafty Art Shack, and we're back here today with another challenge video. I'll tell you more about that in a little bit, so let's get on with the crafts. Let's go! Alright, here we go with DIY number 1. Now for our first DIY, we're going to use these little, these are actually a plunger handle from the Dollar Tree, and I am going to take this little round cylinder and I'm going to mark the height of it, and then I'm going to move it up about a half of an inch, and then I'm going to make sure the last half of that is where I want it. Erase that first mark, and that's where I'm going to cut it because I need 3 of these. Alright, and for this next part, I'm going to get out my little saw that I got from Harbor Freight, and I am going to drill. I'm not going to drill, I'm actually going to saw this little piece of handle into 2 pieces. Now because this saw will not cut all the way through this, I cut through it as far as I could. I'm going to adjust it, and then I'm going to make my next cut. But before I make this next cut, I'm going to make sure that it lines up right where my saw was before, so that it comes out flat on top. And so let me get this cut, and then we'll be right back. Then the next thing I did is I painted each one of these 3 cylinders white with Rust-Oleum and white chalk paint. And then after I got that done, I took some napkins and I tore off all the extra layers, and I am cutting them down to the size that I'm going to need for these little cylinders. And I cut 2 flags, and I cut one of that looks like fireworks over there, and I'm going to take and put Mod Podge down, and then I am going to line up the bottom of this and roll this all the way around. And if you'll take that and well, I'm not doing it here, I figured out right there, if you lay it down on the table and roll it, it actually comes out a lot better. And then when you get back there to the back, flip up that little piece and trim it off. And then you're going to fold the top of it over, add a little bit of Mod Podge in there, and then spread it around. And then you're going to flip that top over onto the top of the cylinder, making sure that you get it covered completely. And after I get all 3 of them completed, then the next thing I did is I took some of these gold pipe cleaners, and I am going to take and put a little dab of hot glue on the top and stick these little what would look like the firecracker ends to these. And we are making a set of firecrackers. Now you want to make sure you glue it to the end that has the paper towel on it. And then the next thing I did is I glued all 3 of them together. They're moving around, and they will continue to move around unless you glue them down. Now I put a piece of twine around this, and then I'm going to, and I tied it in a little bow on the front. Now I'm going to go through here, put some hot glue on here, and then twist that back around to where it glues to the one in front of it. And I'm going to do the same on the other side. And I'm making sure that seam of the tall one is in the back, and the seam to the smaller ones are facing towards each other. And we will see the rest of this at the final reveal. Now this is a Patriotic DIY challenge video, and the host today is Crafty Hints. Co-host is Rustic Lace DIY, and 6 Kids and a Glue Gun is also the other co-host. Y'all go check these ladies out, check out their channels, check out the playlist in the description box below, because they're doing some awesome crafts and you sure don't want to miss it. Now here we go with DIY number 2. Now for this DIY, I got this little wagon at the thrift store. It had a sticker on it. This sticker said $5. I'm not sure where they got it from because it doesn't say so, but I actually got it from the thrift store, and I only paid like $1 for it. And then I cut me a piece of foam and put it in there. I'm going to take me one of these 2 little ornaments that I'm going to cut the beads off, and I am going to hot glue this to this little wagon. And the reason why I'm hot gluing it versus putting E600 on it, which would be the better choice, is because after the holiday, I want to be able to go in there and change this little wagon to something else. So that's the only reason why I'm using hot glue. So my suggestion, if you want to make this and keep it for future uses, later on, then use E600 in there. So I had to peel off that hot glue because I glued it in the wrong spot, believe that or not. And we're going to glue it back down to this little wagon. Then after I get that star placed where I want it, then I'm going to start out with this little pick that I got from a garage sale. A lady was selling a whole bag of this stuff and I only had to pay $1 for it. So I got that and these little flowers, and I'm going to arrange them in this little wagon to my taste. And then I will also add in some other little embellishments, and I'm not going to put any moss down in the bottom of this because by the time I put these flowers in here, it's going to be filled up. And how I gauge whether it's going to be filled or not is because see all those leaves on those flowers? I'm pushing them to where they're going to be bunched up so that it kind of fills up that inside, and then you don't have to buy that floral moss or whatever it's called. So anyway, I'm going to keep working on this, and then I'm going to take these little picks and add them in. And they were 2 red ones, 2 white ones, and 1 blue one. So I put the blue one in the front, and I'm just making sure I put everything even around the edges of it. Now I want to show you this. If you ever needed some embellishments to add character to your project, take and use some buttons. So I'm going to take these little buttons and add them, glue them down to this little pick, and then I'm going to stick it in there where it shows in the front. And we will see the rest of this at the final reveal. Now here we go with DIY number 3. Okay, for this DIY, we took a picture out of one of our calendars, and it was a truck calendar that I got from Hobby Lobby back when they were on sale in January. And I'm going to mark this picture. It was square. I cut it round, and then I'm going to cut it down some more. I'm using the pizza pan label to make my circle around this. So as soon as I get this done, then I'm going to go and cut it out. Then the next thing I did is I took my pizza pan, I covered it with Rust-Oleum and white chalk paint, let it dry. I did not worry about getting a real good coat on this. I just wanted a somewhat of a coat on it, and then I'm going to coat it in Mod Podge and let that dry. Then after I let that dry, I took my picture and I put it down, and I'm going to lay a piece of parchment paper over the top of it, and then I'm going to iron it with my little bitty iron. Then the next thing I did is I've got this ribbon at the thrift store, and I paid $1.99 for it, and there was quite a bit on the roll, and I'll show you that in a few minutes here in the video because it was a big roll. And when I saw it, I knew what I was using it for. I knew it was going in this video. Now I folded that till I got it all the way around the plate or the pizza pan, and I'm showing you how much is left on that roll, and I only paid $1.99 for that, you guys. Go check out your thrift stores. They got some good deals out there. Now what I'm doing here is I'm making sure I'm going around and making sure all my little tucks in this were done. And no, this didn't happen that fast. It took me a while to get this done. After I got that done, the next thing I did is I took out my nautical rope that I got from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to cut off I glued the end, and then I took off the plastic tape because I didn't want that to show on the project, but it really wouldn't have mattered with what I did to the top of it anyway. So I started deciding where I was going to glue it, and I decided I was going to glue it on the ribbon first, and then I'm going to make a second row around that after I glue it on the first time. Then I'm going to glue it in that little I guess you would call it like a little valley or whatever. Now here I am finishing up where it's going around in that little divot that's there. Then the next thing I did is I made a little loop and glued it to the back side right where the top of my ribbon I started it. And then I'm going to take this piece of ribbon, cover that to make it look more professional, and then we're going to turn it over and work on the front side again. Then after I finished that, I went back to the front side and I decided that it needed some more rope on it. So instead of putting the big rope on it, I got this little thin rope that I got from Temu. hot glued this down, and I did 2 rounds on this, and then I took out the other star from that pack that I had. I cut the little beads off of it, and I'm going to add some E600 glue along with hot glue to this, and we're going to put it on the front of this, and then we will see this at the final reveal after I get all of this glued together. And this turned out so cute. I was really pleased with it. Now, this is a Patriotic DIY challenge video, and the host today is Crafty Hints. Co-host is Rustic Lace DIY, and 6 Kids and a Glue Gun is also the other co-host. Y'all go check these ladies out. Check out their channels. Check out the playlist in the description box below, because they're doing some awesome crafts, and you sure don't want to miss it. Now, at this time, we'd like to thank our subscribers. We love you bunches, and we really appreciate you. And here we are with the final reveal. Alright, y'all, we're back from the craft desk, and didn't these just turn out awesome? Well, if you like this content, subscribe, like, and share, because it really helps our video out. And for all our subscribers, thank you so much for everything you do for us by subscribing to the channel. And we'll see you in the next episode of the Crafty Art Shack. We'll see you later. Bye.
What I was doing. When I look at something in the background or whatever and I notice it's out of place, it's like, squirrel! My craft room's not full. I still have the ceiling to hang stuff from. What do you mean you can't find it? Babe, it's right there behind my, yeah, that thing. Yeah, it's behind my stuff. No. Hey, babe, those are my tools. Yours are over there in your toolbox behind my stuff. That's why you're using mine? Listen, I have everything right here in hand's reach so that I can do a video. Why is it over there? Because I'm not using it right now. No, don't get rid of it. I need it. But I know it's not at hand's reach, but I need it. I might want to use it. Alright, y'all, we're back from the craft desk, and didn't these just turn out awesome? So you guys, if you like this content, subscribe. Hit that notification bell and give us that big thumbs up, because it really helps our channel out. And we'll see you in the next episode of the Crafty Art Shack. We'll see you later. Bye.